Hello, welcome back to Rada. My name is Beast, and today we're back with Kakenuke Seishun Sparking. We talked about fucking death in the goddamn road in the fucking driving lesson today. Jesus. Yeah, driving lesson happened today and tomorrow a job, so I'm gonna keep this one short probably. Anyway, today Senpai and I were set to go to a movie at come. Crap, I'm super nervous. I'd gotten to our meeting place a little earlier than when we'd agreed to meet. I don't know where it all do I. Even Rita had given me a side eye when she noticed me my dress clothes earlier. Perhaps I'd chosen poorly in all the excitement of my date with Senpai.
あれ? トーノもう来てたんだ。まだ約束の時間前だけど、残念。今回は先を越されたか。
This time?
ほら、私がサーフィンのことを打ち明けたとき。
Ah, it was right the day we met up, headed to the beach, and she told me about how she surfed. Back then, I'd headed to our meeting spot half an hour early, and Senpai found Senpai waiting for me. Now that you mention it, are you using the same lip balm as back then?
まあ。今回はちゃんとしたデートなんだし。
The mysterious ring possessed by that word made my cheeks blush in unison.
とりあえず、今日は映画を見に行くんだっけ?
Yeah, how do you feel about an action movie? It just came out the other day.
いいんじゃない? 響が好きで、私もよく付き合ってみるし。あ、でも、待ち合わせ時間より早く来たから、時間に余裕あるわよね。
Yeah, you're right. Of course she was. Movie had a set runtime, and we'd have to wait just as long as if we arrived at the theater early.
私、怖かったよ。
A couple that had come out of the movie theater we were heading to now leapt into view.
大丈夫だって。悪者が来ても、俺がお前を守るから。
本当？たっくんかっこいい。
当たり前だろ。彼女を守るのは彼氏の役目だからな。
たっくん、こんな人前でそんなこと恥ずかしいよ。
Execute both of them.
なーに恥ずかしがってんだよ。ほら、手つなごうぜ。
たっくん、ちょっとしゃがんで。
Actually. Like same energy as like I don't even know what show that was. I just saw the clip in some video where someone just fucking oh.
お前こんなところで。
さっきのお返しだよ。
Couple had held hands and disappeared into the station. They were flirting like crazy without a care in the world that other people could see them. Senpai watched that couple walk away. Senpai, what is it?
大したことじゃないけど、男ってあんな感じのいかにもってタイプの方が好きなのかなって。
Senpai let out a small breath as she filled with the braid of her hair. She seemed to be comparing herself to that woman. I think you should have more confidence in yourself. It's not like you're not feminine. Besides, from where I'm standing, you've always been plenty attractive.
その、魅力的って、そうなの?
Her face suddenly turned bright red. She shyly hid her face with her arms to try and escape from my view. The way she was sneaking glances at me through her arms, however, was so adorable. I can't lie when it comes to things like this.
そうなんだ。トーノがそう言ってくれるなら、ちょっと自信持てるかも。
I will say that immediately, nice job on the main character, like just shutting down the... No. That dude likes that type of girl. That does not mean I like that type of girl. Also, I don't know why, random thought, but like, you think Shiori has a tendency to look down while walking around? You know, because she has a cat? Seppa's face blossomed like a flower. this gives you confidence, that would also make me happy. It was the best feeling in the world when Senpai smiled for me. And hit me squarely in the heart. Alright, Senpai, let's go. It was a little early, but we headed straight for the theater.
ねえ、トーノはポップコーン食べる？
As long as we're here, I figured I'd buy some. You, Senpai?
私も買うつもり。どうせだし、シェアしない？
Can we? Actually, pretty huge servings. We engaged in idle chatter while we bought popcorn and drinks. Time flew by in the blink of an eye by the time we sat in the theater waiting for the film to start.
今日の映画、楽しかった
We were on our way home from the theater.
たまには映画館で見るのもいいわね。
Glad you had a good time.
ええ、最近は稽古と部活とサーフィンばっかりだったから、いい気分転換になったわ。ねえ、トーノ、この後どうする？
Good question. When movie was over, we would walk around the shopping district or park and chat about our impressions, and we could have dinner together when the time was right. At least that's what I'd had in mind for the day. But it was a little too early for us to have dinner just yet.
実はね、私ちょっとやってみたいなって思ってることがあるの。
What do you have in mind?
この公園って大きな池があるでしょ？
It does. What about it?
確か遊覧用の手漕ぎボートがレンタルできるのよね。ねえ、トーノ、
Smells of a CG.
せっかくのデートなんだし、試しに恋人っぽいこととかしてみるのはどうかななんて。
Something coupley, huh? Millie knew what Senpai was trying to say. Boat ride, just the two of us. Might not be so bad. Yeah, sounds good to me. Boat rides are a rarity, and it'll feel like being a kid again in a way.
そうよね。じゃあ
Yeah, well, why don't we go? From there, we wasted no time and headed for the pond.
おお、思ったよりも安定してるのね。
Senpai rode in the tiny boat and got as excited as a kid.
やっぱりボートといえば手漕ぎよね。私、ボートに乗るときは絶対手漕ぎがいいって思ってたの。
Yeah, I feel the same way. They do have those swan-shaped pedal boats designed for sightseeing at tourist attractions too, but there's a real thrill to actually paddling by hand. Incidentally, Senpai was manning the oars. She wanted to paddle first, so I could see them to her.
急に揺れが大きく。
Hey, Senpai, what do you...
私のせいなの？
And we were bombarded by an unnatural rocking, possibly because the oars had moved uniformly on both sides. You're putting too much force into it. It'll be fine even if we paddle more gently.
でもこんな感じでいいんじゃないの？
Also, you have to match up your movements on both sides.
揺れすぎ！
Senpai, this is getting dangerous. How about I take it from me over from here?
やだ、まだ私が漕ぐ。
But for all the effort you're putting in, we aren't really making any progress. We weren't all that far away from where we'd started. Distance we had covered had mostly been due to inertia.
大丈夫だって。トーノはそこに座ってて。
Oars unexpectedly stopped.
あれ、何かに引っかかって。
Hey, Senpai, if we try to force it too much, then... She was probably caught on some aquatic plant. It was better to take the time to pull them out in these situations rather than try and force them into motion. However, Senpai was intent and tensed her arms to try and force the oars to move.
とりゃー
Cold! The oars flew upwards and caused a tremendous splash. There was no way to dodge it on a boat. I was doused in water from head to toe.
ごめんごめん。つい力が入っちゃった。
Oh no. It's fine, really. I sighed and calmly looked over at Senpai. Then I was left speechless.
どうしたのよ、急に黙り込んで。ねえ、トーノってば。
She hadn't noticed it yet. We were on a tiny boat. I'd gotten soaked and Senpai was no exception either. Senpai?
うん、何？
The clothes are see-through.
え？
I can see your underwear.
おー。
Senpai froze in place for a moment. Awkwardly. She timidly looked down at her breasts. Well, don't wiggle around too much, Senpai! Crap, we're gonna
あん
capsize!
たを突き落として私も落ちる。
Quit it with the scary ideas! It's alright, I can barely can't, I just barely can't see.
嘘つき、遠野のエッチ。
Yes, I told her straight up that I could see her undergarments. I did think Senpai was genuinely cute when she blushed so deeply. She'd be entirely likely to actually push me overboard if I were to tell her that now, though. Whoa, whoa, calm down, Senpai! Freaking out about is going to solve anything.
それは分かってるけど、まさか遠野がこんなにスケベだったなんて。
What did he even do exactly? You being overly high-handed with the oars is what caused this to happen in the first place. You don't have to worry. It'll be dry in no time in this weather. In actuality, my clothes were beginning to dry off already.
そうかもしれないけど。
When I head over to the shade, I'll relax there for a while until we dry off. The clothes would probably dry faster if we were to stay where we were. However, it was incredibly hot out in the lake and in direct sunlight.
そうね。うん、そうする。
The night before, she maneuvered the oars in a slow, careful fashion.
力を入れすぎずに左右の動きを揃えていいよね。
The board began to glide across. Simba was impressive. Once she got the hang of it, she got better in the blink of an eye. We took temporary residence in a relatively secluded area under the shade. I feel pointlessly exhausted for some reason.
悪かったわね。一人で騒いで。
I mean, there was a bit of trouble, but it isn't so bad either. At least I think.
そうなの？
I did get to see a cute side of you.
かわいいって。
I had the impression that you're skilled at everything you do, so it was surprising to learn that there are things you're bad at too.
だって遠野と一緒だからいいとこ見せないとって気合入っちゃったんだもの。なんでもないというか、遠野は私のことそんな風に思ってたの？何でも器用にこなすって。
Yeah. I realized it after seeing you in action in the club room, but you're generally very supportive of the other club members whenever they speak up about something. You do a good job of meeting their unreasonable requests.
まあ確かにそうかも。
So it was refreshing. Couldn't believe you paddled the oar so hard you got us soaked. I guess you would go so far as to climb a tree to save a cat. You've got quite the mischievous side to you, huh?
もうあんまりからかうと怒るわよ。それでどうだった？
About what?
つけてたのよね。一応可愛いの選んでつけって違うの。今のは忘れて。
Oh, sure.
もうどうしたのよ私。今日はなんか変。
Wait. What in the world had Senpai been trying to ask? Showed through. Picked this out because it was cute. She'd been asking what I thought of her underwear.
ちょっと遠野、何を想像したの？
Nothing at all! This is a false accusation! I hadn't been picturing Senpai in her underwear whatsoever. My impressions had just sprung to mind a little.
遠野、本当にエッチなんだか。それに、私は何を聞こうとしてたのよ。
Senpai blushed brightly and hung her head. Then the conversation just kind of came to a pause. That's because I'd gotten a glimpse of her underwear earlier. Made it impossible to simmer down.
あのさ、
Listen.
何遠野。
Now, what did you want to say, Senpai?
私は大した用事じゃないから、先に遠野から言って。
No, mine isn't important either. You can go ahead and say first, Senpai.
うん。じゃあ、いい風景よね。自然も多いし、たまにはボートもいいわね。
Yeah, I thought the same thing. This kind of thing might be nice every so often. I could hear the hustle and bustle of people a bit off in the distance. It felt comforting that I could forget about my restless everyday life.
それで、遠野の要件は？
Some similar. I was glad you invited me on this boat ride. Thank you, Senpai.
どういたしまして。
A cool breeze blew across the surface of the water. There had been some slightly unforeseen incidents along the way. But we forgot about time itself and enjoyed our time alone together. Ah, the time!
嘘！
We'll be in trouble if you don't hurry back. Senpai, let me take the oars.
これ。
Oh, hurry! My arms are aching. somehow made it back in time without exceeding the rental time limit. Took multiple heavy breaths, ignoring the desire to just collapse to the ground where I stood.
大丈夫トノ。
Yeah, no problem, but wouldn't it have been more sense to just pay the additional fee to extend the rental?
確かにそうよね。
Although there was a fee for more time, it wasn't actually that pricey. Screwed up.
まあ、無駄な出費をしないのはいいことじゃない。
Yes, what's done is done. I'm way back for now.
ええ、そうしましょうか。
I caught my breath already. He assumed the leisurely pace and left the park.
あれこの音。
Hibiki. Senpai abruptly paused mid-step thanks to a noise off in the distance. Senpai?
この音、スケートボードっぽくない？
Is that over here? Over there. Looked around and immediately spotted it.
子供が遊んでたのね。
Never mind. Some seemed strange though. There was a boy and a girl playing, but also looked like they were arguing.
トノ、行ってみましょう。
Yeah, let's go.
君たち、どうしたの？何か揉めているみたいに見えたんだけど、喧嘩でもしてたのかな？お姉ちゃんに話せることがあるなら相談に乗るよ。イニスタのストーリーズのお姉ちゃんだ！
In a rare turn, Senpai shouted hysterically when the girl pointed her finger at her. Wait a second. Insta, meaning the videos Hichiri uploaded. Guess I was a viewer
ね
here.
えお姉ちゃん、スケボーで技やって。私がスケボーでピュンって飛べるんだって言っても信じてくれないの。私、嘘なんてついてないのに。
This is the second time children are in a fucking fight because one of them was like, "You can do that shit," and the other's just like, "Nah, you fucking can't."
そんなの無理だろ。
Why is one part of each route thus far just a child being a hater?
ジャンプ台みたいなのがあればともかくさ。
That's what started the argument? This feud was apparently sparked by something insignificant. Is that something you could show him, Senpai?
ちょっとそのボードを見せてもらえる？いいよ。
She took the board from the boy and began to physically check the area around the wheels.
普通のスケボーか。せめてサーフスケートならよかったんだけど。
Something wrong with it?
足回りが全然違うのよ。エアーはかなりやりづらいと思う。
So is that the question? Seppa stole a glance over at the teary-eyed girl. Seppa let out a small sigh when she noticed her desperate gaze.
よし、やってやろうじゃない。お姉ちゃん。本当にできるの？私に任せなさい。じゃあ君、ちょっとこのボード借りるわよ。見逃さないように、ちゃんと私を見てるのよ。
She hopped nimbly onto the board, kicked off the ground, and began to glide around. She sliced through the air, her skirt fluttering from even the slightest movements. But Senpai didn't pay that any mind. She zigzagged around in an attempt to get the feel for the board, all while gaining even more speed. Didn't take long for her to get the hang of it to some extent.
よし、それじゃあ行くわよ。
Senpai's movements changed along with the ambience about her.
頑張れ、お姉ちゃん。なんかすげえ。
She gradually got closer as she gained sufficient velocity. And then...
やー。
She performed a single aerial where she simply jumped, then made a clean landing. But it wasn't over yet.
いけるか。てあー。
Well, she had a rotation. On top of that, she performed the same air reverse she'd shown me on the skate surfer before.
どうよ。すごいお姉ちゃん。やべえ、ぴょんって飛んでくるってまった。
Senpai's trick made the children shout with excitement. Beep. It's a faint electronic sound muffled by the children's noises. What the? Was that person? Or someone across the way? Were they taking pictures with their phone?
お姉ちゃんすごい。ありがとう。やばいよお姉ちゃん。本当にスケボーで飛べるんだ。すごいでしょ。ほら、この子は嘘をついてなかったんだから。何か言うことはない？疑ってごめんね。スケボーでも
あんなにジャンプして技とかできるんだね。
じゃあ一緒に練習しよう。私にかっこいいとこ見せてほしいな。
任せて。
Must have been docile children by nature and seemed to make up
ス
quickly
ケボーの
enough.
お姉ちゃん、ありがとう。
ありがとうお姉ちゃん。
They thanked Senpai and went off to play on their own, like the good friends they appeared to be.
なんだか照れるわね。ごめんとの、お待たせ。
Now I got to see something nice too. If you ask me, you seem like the big sister ever when dealing with those kids. Reminded me of the Kaido Senpai special lessons.
この前のことは忘れて。
Senpai's face was turning red. Juliet seemed like a wonderful big sister to those kids earlier, though. That reminds me, like that person's been before. Disappeared at some point. Probably should have immediately fucking went after them.
もう帰りましょう。もう恥ずかしい。
Senpai stood ahead of me and started to walk off to hide how red her face was. Oh, wait a second, Senpai. Quickly chased after her.
よし、少し休憩。昼間はデートした分、ちゃんと稽古もしないとね。それにしても、デートか。
Oh my god, it's made me smirk. I think Tone had a good time as well, so I'd call it a success. Since we shared popcorn, I even got to touch his hand a few times during the movie. Yeah, it was definitely a success.
ここまで来たら、次は、告白。遠野に告白する番。
Hold on a sec, can I really do this? Would it be better to have Tona do it instead? Then from there we would...
ダメよ。告白だけならともかく、それはまだ早いから。でも、覚悟だけはしておいた方がいい。
what should I do if things progress that far?
もう、煩悩大佐。稽古再開よ。駆け抜け青春スパーキング。ごめん遠野、遅れちゃった。もしかして結構待たせちゃった？
No, that's alright, Senpai. We agreed to go shopping together for supplies for the club room. However, text from Senpai 30 minutes before our meetup time suggested she would be late.
とにかく遅れてきたお詫びに何かさせて。
Senpai pleaded all while pressing her palms together apologetically. It's really not that big a deal.
荷物持ちでも何でもするから。
There's no way I could ask you to do that.
じゃあ何か欲しいものはない？私が遠野におごってあげる。
You'd likely feel uneasy if I left things as they were. Sure, why don't we buy some to eat then?
うん。で、何がいい？
Let's see, how about tapioca?
タピオカ？
Our customers who have asked about those drinks at work.
タピオカか。実は私も飲んだことないのよね。丸っこくてもちもちしたのよね。あれって原材料は何なの？
Apparently it's some starch that comes from the cassava plant. I don't really know much about it though. So, you can make up for being late by buying me a tapioca drink.
わかったわ。じゃあそれで。
It would allow me to try something new and it would appease Senpai's need to apologize. It was a win-win for both of us.
喉も渇いてたからちょうどいいわね。そういういかにも女の子っぽいものを飲むのにも興味があったし、タピオカどんな味なんだろう。
There it is. Some of that place over there specialized in it.
ここってタピオカの店だったのね。遠目で見たことあったけど来たことはなかったのよ。
What I heard, they've got the most varieties of all the shops in the city. Well, that's what I've heard anyway. Other shops tried to jump on the bandwagon by adding tapioca drinks to their menu. However, this shop offered a wide array of flavor options, or so I've heard.
へえ、いろいろあるのね。こういうのって映えるっていうのよね。
Seems like it. I've seen girls share pictures of social media with them all the time.
うん、私も見たことある。でも 見た目からは全然味の想像がつかないわね。
Why don't we try them for ourselves? Fine with the regular milk tea. What will you have?
私はどうしようかしら。抹茶にきな粉にチョコバナナミルクに黒糖、いろいろあって悩むわね。
It was the first for me as well, but there really was an abundance of flavors to choose from. And that's because it has a drink base and they just add tapioca to that.
ああ、そっか。ドリンクだけを取っ替えればそれだけでいいのか。
Senpai sounded impressed as she looked over the menu. I knew how she felt. Menus like these made it difficult to choose. So, Senpai, which will you? Senpai's eyes practically sparkled when she stared at the menu. Her expression made my heart skip a beat. So I'm wrong.
いちごミルクティー。どうの、私これにするわ。タピオカいちごミルクティー。
Hey, Senpai, you're so close! She must have been excited as she leaned in close enough that she was practically glued to me. Do you like strawberry that much?
大好き。昔、合気道の稽古の後に食べるいちごがすっごく甘くて好きで、それを食べるためだけにお稽古を頑張ってたんだから。
How about that? That was kind of unexpected. Enthusiasm made sense now that I knew she was a die-hard strawberry fan.
店員さん、タピオカミルクティーとタピオカいちごミルクティーをお願い。喜んで。
Wait around for a minute or so for our order. It didn't take long for two separate drinks to be placed in
お
front of
待た
us.
せしました。ご注文のタピオカミルクティーとタピオカいちごミルクティーです。
ありがとう。ほら、トーノ。
I took one of the containers from Senpai.
いちごとタピオカの融合、どんな味がするのかしら。
Sorry to bring this up at the exciting part, but I don't think tapioca has much of a taste on its own.
そうなの？
Well, it's originally a starch. I think it's more about enjoying like the texture or how it feels going down your throat.
へえ。でも、私にとっては初体験だもの。
It can also have flavor though.
いちごとタピオカのコラボレーションは普通に楽しみだわ。
Said that radiantly as she brought the straw to her mouth.
なにこれ、すっごいもちもちしてる。
Sure is. Let's see, so does tapioca. With a simultaneous onslaught of milk tea and mysterious springy masses. Tastes gummies. Chewy gems.
本当に薄味なのね。でもこの食感、ちょっと癖になるかも。
I know what you mean. Chewy texture is great.
すっごく不思議。特別美味しいんじゃないけど、いくらでも食べられそう。いちごミルクティーとしても美味しいし、タピオカが邪魔になってないし。
Senpai and I shared all sorts of opinions about this new experience.
タピオカチャレンジ
Don't! Huh? All of a sudden, we had an enthusiastic shout.
あんたすごいね。
これぐらいどうってことないよ。
私もあんたくらい豊満な胸があれば。
How old is this game again? Jesus Christ. They're pulling out the fucking tapioca challenge. Jesus Christ, how old is this? Kakenuke Seishun Sparking VNVV. When did this game come out originally? 2020. When was actually, hold on, when did start? In June 2019, apparently. I guess it makes sense. Takes time for the game to actually be made, so it became a thing in 2019 June, and then took a while for the game to actually come out.
タピオカチャレンジ？
It was adorable watching Senpai tilt her head as she curiously watched the two women.
ねえ、トーノ、あれって何やってんの？
Senpai, I don't think you need to worry about it all that much.
何よそれ。そんなことを言われると余計気になるんだけど。
Senpai peered at my face and leaned in close. Since she'd leaned in so far forward, my eyes were drawn to her deep cleavage. Senpai, give me some space!
離れてほしいなら、タピオカチャレンジって何か説明しなさい。
Okay, fine! It's a challenge where you balance the tapioca on your own chest and see if you can drink it. You can take a selfie of your attempt and post it on social media.
はあ
Senpai's expression went blank, her head simultaneously tilting to the side. She stayed in that position and turned just her head towards the girls from before. Naturally, her hefty cleavage remained jutted out toward before
胸
me.
に置いて
Yeah. Those girls over there are actually doing it, right?
やってるけど。最近はああいうのが流行りなの
Her cheeks darkened to a vibrant shade of red.
あんな恥ずかしい真似してんのそれもネットにあげるって信じられない
It won't do you any good to say that to me. It gets all sorts of attention after all. Could call it an effort to go viral. I'd imagine it took a lot of guys to put yourself out there like that. A lot of guts, I mean. Probably took a lot of guys to make it popular as well. Like, they're the ones fucking pushing it, probably.
納得はしたくないけど分かったわ。そういうのが多くの人に見てもらえるのは理解できるし。でも
Senpai curled her arms across her chest, obstructing my view. When she carelessly held them like that, it only emphasized them more.
私はそんなことしないからね
I wasn't even considering that! Even so, I couldn't help but picture it. Senpai says, we're huge after all.
何ニヤニヤしてるのよ。スケベ。
Wait, you've got it all wrong! And hey, you're overthinking this. It's not like people do the tapioca challenge for perverted reasons.
そうなの
Think of it this way. A lot of people are taking the same sort of selfies. Do you think every last one of them has that in mind? It's just an extension of regular photography. It's to put yourself out there and show off. They're just spicing things up effectively. If it were for perverted reason, their social media posts would probably be moderated anyway.
一理あるわね。自分アピールだからあれくらいするだけで。考えてみたら響や聖にも似たようなこと言われてるし、手段を選ばずに女の子らしさをアピールしろって。
I will remain with my opinion that her fucking earrings just look like bottle openers. Senpai's gaze fell to her chest. She cupped her ample breasts, pushing them together and easing them upwards, seemingly oblivious to my presence.
もう少し大きければ。頑張ればやれる
Senpai, I wish you would consider where you are before doing that.
Huh?
Seemed to have realized what she was doing when I pointed it out. Her face darkened to an intense shade of red and steam just about rose off her chest.
なんでもないから
Her hands fell away in a fluster and she waved them bashfully in front of her face. Couldn't help but turn away to hide my embarrassment as well.
それよりそろそろ買い物に行きましょう。買うものも結構多いし、早くしないと帰るのが遅くなるわ。
She started to ramble, likely to downplay what she'd done. Once more, she resumed an almost sprint-like pace, seemingly in an effort to flee the scene. I could feel my face grow hot as I chased after her. After we brought the supplies to the club room, we walked along the coastline. Shop took longer than I thought. I had trouble carrying everything we bought, and then we ended up splitting the load between us. Just how shopping for club supplies ended up being our sole club activity for the day.
それにしてもタピオカはなかなか美味しかったわ。トーノと一緒にいると新しい発見があって楽しいわね。
Same here. Every day when I'm with you is fun. The feelings I harbored for this woman made that assertion all but certain. Even walking with her like this was enough to make my heart pound.
トーノもそうなの？でも私はトーノに何もしてあげられてないと思うけど。
That's not true. Taught me how much fun surfing can be, right? It all started when I spotted Senpai in that tray. We started spending more time together once I learned of her secret. As I'd gotten to know Senpai, I came to like her more and more.
木に登ったところを見られたのは不覚だったわ。あれがきっかけでトーノにサーフィンのことを知られたのよね。
Do you regret me finding out?
別に後悔はしてないかな。好きなことを話せる人ができたし、もし知られてなかったら 私は今もずっと一人でやってたかもしれない。遠野と一緒にサーフィンできて楽しい。どうしようって悩むこともあるけど、基本的に悩む時間も楽しいのよね。だから今は遠野に知られてよかったと思ってるわ。
You see? Thank goodness. Not only that, but you enjoyed spending time with me. It really did make me happy.
遠野はどうなの？余計なこと知っちゃったせいで私に付き合わされてさ、内心で面倒だって思わなかった？
Absolutely not. If anything, it meant I got to see all new sides to you. And I thought you was cute more than a few times too. Helped me realize how incredible you really are. You're so accomplished and cute at your age, and you're level-headed as a person. I really do think you're amazing.
やめてよ。褒め殺して私をどうする気？それにそれを言うなら遠野だってすごいじゃない。マジックのこともそうだけど、勉強も成績優秀でしょ？
The last two are kinda the same.
しかもバイトをして生活費まで自分で稼いでる。
It's not really that impressive. I was desperate and never really bothered to take the time to get a good look at myself. Study hard and bring in a paycheck. That and supporting Anita were all I ever thought about. I never even imagined I would ever fall in love. My opinion completely changed when I saw you having as much fun as humanly possible, all by doing things you enjoyed. Till recently, I had always thought of you as a diligent, level-headed person who was good at Aikido. There's more to you than that, though. Your eyes practically sparkled when you told me just how much you loved to surf. Thought myself, I have this side to you too. An incredible person, not to mention cute.
かわいいって。
Seppa's cheeks reddened when I put that into words. That was one of the cute things about her. It would only fuel her embarrassment further if I told her that, though. Well, I've said a whole lot, but I was never bothered even a little.
遠野、ありがとう。実はちょっと気にしてたの。私の都合でいろいろ振り回しちゃった感じだし、それで嫌われちゃったりしてないかなって。
There's no way I would ever hate you, senpai. If anything, I love why this was bad. I nearly confessed her on the spot. As such, I clamped my mouth shut in a panic.
むしろ何？
Nothing, really!
なんでもないって感じじゃなかったわよ。もしかして遠野ってば私のことを好きになっちゃったとか？
Oh.
なんてそんなことあるわけないよね。
Not good. There's no way I could tell her now. I don't want to say I didn't like her even as a joke.
ねえ遠野、なんで黙ってるの？まさか本当に？
Doubted I could play this off any longer. Told her she had noticed I felt some for her, right? It would be impossible to go back to our ordinary routine of the way things were. Would prefer to tell her in a more formal way, but... Senpai, could we talk? This was it. I made my mind and fixed my gaze squarely on her.
どうしたの？急に改まっちゃって。口調だって急に敬語に戻って。
Have something important to say?
大事な話？
Yes. Need to tell her how I really felt. There was a chance I put it off forever. I didn't tell her now. If that was even a possibility, it would be better to let the momentum carry me instead. There was something I would like to tell you. Seppa timidly addressed me with flushed cheeks. Yikes, this had gotten me tense. I was just putting my feelings into words. Just saying three little words and yet my heart was running amok more than I had ever experienced before. Displayed my hands across my chest and took a deep breath. Then I said what I had to say. I love you, senpai. It's okay with you, please go out with me. You're already on a date, and based on how she's been acting recently, my odds shouldn't be low. She obviously felt something from me. At least that's what I believed. But that still didn't tell me how she would react.
私は遠野は私なんかでいいの？
Someone did say like, oh no, in this one main character's gonna be oblivious. It doesn't feel oblivious. It feels more so like he realizes somewhere deep down, but it's kind of like, that can't be it. It can't be it. Like, it is less oblivious, more astonished and can't believe it himself. Which is entirely alright. Like, the issue is, like, when he's genuinely like, what? She likes me? Now, this one, it seems more like... I mean... I feel like that's the case, but that feels kind of like... out there. Like, you know, when the fucking own self-loathing causes him to just be like, maybe that's not it, actually.
私より女の子らしくて可愛い子はたくさんいるのに。
That's not true. You're charming enough to hold your own against anyone.
でも
At the very least, I only have eyes for you. I love you, senpai. Please go with me. Gazed directly into Senpai's eyes and awaited her answer. My heart was about ready to explode from nerves, but I couldn't run away from this. But she sure can! Huh? Gotta run away! No time at all to adventure with you! I was now alone. Oh. I was saying, did she reject me? Yeah, you sure fucking did.
私どうして逃げてるのよ。
Tona went to the effort of telling me how he felt. I'd imagined every possible scenario beforehand.
あんなに頭が真っ白になるなんて思わなかった。この私の大バカ。
That was the worst.
穴があったら入りたい。
だからといって柱に穴を開けられても困るのだが、娘も青春する年になったのだな。
Even the old man is like, youth.
駆け抜け青春スパーキング。
Brutal. Lost track of how many times I'd sighed today.
またつれーとか言ってる。どうしたのよ、そんなしけた顔して。
Big That sort of face it looks like I make to you.
見えるも何も、しけすぎてカビが生えてるじゃない。今すぐに外に放り出して日干ししたいくらいね。
You're saying some pretty awful things to me. This really wasn't brutal.
まったく、今日は部活って感じじゃないわね。ナギは愚か、鹿島さんもしおりもひじりさんもいないし、唯一部室に来てる優がこんななんだもん。せっかくいい天気なのに空気が悪くて重すぎだわ。
As Biggie said, we were the only members of the youth collective that showed up to club today. I'm sure Kashima, Hiragi, and Hijiri just so happened to have other errands to come up at the same time. As for Senpai, though, I could imagine why she was absent. A confession was likely to blame.
ま、たまには優と二人きりってのもいいけどね。それで、あんた、何があったわけ？
I mean, nothing really.
嘘ね。あんたがそんな顔してんのに何もないわけないでしょうが。幼馴染なめんな。
Oh.
どうせナギとなんかあったんでしょ？
Her pinpoint accuracy was nothing short of startling. I want to believe I've been acting as calmly as possible.
んで、どうなのよ。
Nothing happened with Senpai.
神に誓って？
Yeah, of course.
そうなんだ。
Even though it was lame, I hoped it would be enough to convince Hibiki to give up, though.
ユウが素直に白状しないなら仕方ない。じゃあ、ナギにでも直接聞くか。
Hey, wait, Hibiki, stay! Please, I'm begging you. I get it, I was wrong. I'll tell you, just don't do anything rash.
なんか、言い方が気に食わないけど。まあいいわ。変に隠そうとしないで、最初からそうしてればよかったのよ。
Oh, come on.
ね、ナギと何があったのよ。
Yeah, actually. With my mind made up, I told Hibiki how I confessed to Senpai.
なるほどね。そっか。告白したんだ。
Nah, I was on impulse, though.
それで、ナギはなんて返事したの？
Do I really have to tell her this part? As I thought, but it would be pointless to climb up now and not tell her the full story. She ran away.
Huh?
Please don't make me repeat myself. It's depressing enough as it is. She ran off before I got an answer out of her. Even if Iki's just like... What?
ユウ、あんた変な告白したんじゃないでしょうね。
Rude. I told Senpai I loved her in a perfectly normal way. That's all there is to it. As far as I was concerned, there shouldn't have been anything unusual about what I said or did. She said something about how there were other girls who were cuter than her. Which was when I told her how attractive she was, and I said I couldn't consider anyone but her. She ran off shortly after that.
なるほどね。
Did I do something wrong?
聞いた限りでは、ユウは間違ってないと思う。というか、ある意味でナギらしいって思ったくらいかな。
You think so?
ナギってば恥ずかしがり屋だから。特に恋愛とかそういう男女の色恋沙汰に関してはね。
I can see that. I had made use of that side of Senpai up to this point, including the time she pinned me to the wall shortly after Biki transferred in, hadn't it? Took advantage of how poorly she dealt with the topic of romance, trying to run away from her. That had ultimately failed, though.
しっかりしてそうに見えて、あの子は誰よりも乙女なの。それこそ恋愛のことになると恥ずかしくて直面できないくらいに。だからいざ告白されたらその癖が出て戸惑って逃げてしまったんだと思うわ。
When I told Senpai I felt she got embarrassed and ran away, which I do then. Couldn't afford to leave things as they were forever. Had to think of something.
まったく、あの子も仕方ないんだから。ユウ？
What?
ま、仕方ない。私が一肌脱いであげる。
Huh?
さっきも言ったけど、ナギはいつもの悪い癖が出ただけ。あんたの告白を言葉で拒絶したわけじゃない。でしょ？
Yeah, she didn't answer me verbally at all.
確かめたくないの？
He was right. It wasn't like I'd been turned down outright. And I didn't want to give up yet. I wouldn't give up until I met with her face to face and got an answer directly. I do. I mean, quite frankly, I would too. If, like, I confessed to someone and they ran away, I don't care how certain it is that they are rejecting me. I would still fucking catch up to them, just drag them out into the open, be like, listen up, I don't give a shit if you're gonna say no, but actually fucking say it instead of running away. You have a mouth, you can speak, and I'm not emotionally unstable enough to want to fucking stab you just because I fucking got turned down. That's overall something I can't stand when people are like, well, I acted this way, you couldn't infer. No. Yeah, sure, I couldn't fucking infer. But fun fact, you have a fucking mouth. Use it to speak. Like people that are like this was not translated to me being upset about Magi. She's entirely just in a panic. There's nothing wrong with that. However, imagine if someone just like you have a friend, you hang out with them very frequently, and the amount of times you hang out with them kind of stops. Like not stops completely. It just kind of goes. It becomes less and less, and you try to continue to reach out to them, but something's always going on, and eventually they get mad at you for constantly reaching out, even though they clearly don't want to hang out with you. Well, fun fact, you would stop if you just said, sorry, I don't really feel like hanging out with you anymore. Just be straight. Like, these kinds of acts are like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's just going to make it worse. Because suddenly it's just, did I do something wrong? Because something is off, but I don't know what's going on. And it's just going to make things worse. Just be honest. Speak plain. Be fucking straight. I do. I want to confess to Senpai one more time and hear her answer.
そうこなくっちゃん。私がちゃんとナギをあんたの前に引きずり出してあげるわ。私もナギには言いたいことがあるし。ああ、こっちのことよ。ユウ、 私ができるのは、ナギを連れ出すとこまでよ。あとのことは全部、あんたの仕事だから、しっかりやんなさい。
Got it. He's actually gonna fucking pin her to a wall or something. I've pressed myself for this. Even if she'd have rejected me, I wanted to know her answer. There's no time to be discouraged.
多少はマシな表情になったじゃない。ちょっとは元気出た？
Yeah, thank you. Childhood friends really we're really there when you need her the most.
我に秘策あり。見てなさいよ。
That bold laugh. This was the one time he seemed dependable to me.
また休んじゃった。部活へ行こうと思ってたんだけど。
Couldn't bring myself to leave the house, which is why I decided to lie to myself by working up a sweat in the dojo alone.
だって仕方ないじゃない。遠野がいきなり愛の告白を。
Calm down! Calm down, me! What's the point of getting embarrassed about it the second I think about what happened?
精神集中、対戦知着、落ち着け。合気道は平静じゃなきゃダメ。
Before breathing exercise to gradually calm myself down, my cheeks were still on fire though. Whenever I tried to empty my mind, Tono's face would flicker across it.
遠野、私のこと好きなんだ。
He told me he loved me. It's more he wanted to go out with me.
でも、私じゃやっぱり、響から電話何かしら。で、部活のことしかないか。
Bitch, I heard you ran! Hibiki would undoubtedly reach out after I skipped out on club without notice. She had called to tell me to make sure I come to club earlier too.
さすがに、出ないわけにはいかないか。無視したら、多分家まで来るんだろうし。もしもし？
もしもし？何？今日はどうしたの？部活に来なかったわよね。
ああ、うん。ね。
I was at loss for words. I looked around as I searched for an excuse, which was when I realized what I was currently wearing.
ちょっと合気道の稽古をね。
That wasn't a lie. It's not like I could focus on anything else, and I was practicing to some degree.
ま、それは別にいいの。
What Hibiki said came as a relief. Was that why I let my guard down?
あれからユウトはどうなってんの？
遠野と？
そう、ユウト。っていうか、何そんなに慌ててるのよ。ユウのこと好きって言ってなかったっけ？私とひじりさんにユウにアピールしていくって宣誓してなかったっけ？
先生まではしてないんじゃないか。
なーに、ナギ。もしかして、またおじけづいたの？
そんなんじゃ。
だったらどうしたの？ちゃんとわかるように言って。
わかったわよ。ねえ、響。実は私、遠野に告白されたの。よ
かったじゃない。ナギずっと頑張ってたものね。じゃあ、これからは恋人同士ってことね。二人がくっつくなら、応援してた私も一安心だわ。
Hibiki said pierced right through my heart.
待って、違うの、響。
違う？って何が？
まだ告白の返事できてなくて、私でいいのかなって。私なんか遠野にふさわしくないんじゃないかな。
ばっかじゃないの？ユウはあんたが好きだから告白したんでしょ？それなのに自分がふさわしくないかもなんて。ユウの気持ちを疑ってんの？告白する大変さなんて十分にわかるはずでしょ？生半可な覚悟じゃ告白なんてできるわけないって。
響。
Every single word she spoke made my heart sting. I wanted to argue, but the words wouldn't come
あ
out.
んたにユウと付き合う気がないならさっさと断りなさい。その時は私がユウをもらうから。
それはダメ。
The voice that had been trapped in my throat burst its way through to the surface. I could see Tono clearly in my mind. However, there was a different faceless girl standing at his side. They were happy, wearing big happy smiles.
それは絶対にダメ。遠野は絶対に譲れない。私は遠野と一緒にいたい。
Some told me we get chuckle on the other end of the phone.
ちゃんと言えるじゃない。それでいいのよ。悩むことなんてないわ。
響、ごめん。それから、ありがとう。
Wouldn't run away anymore. Wouldn't hesitate either. More than anything, my next objective was to tell Tono how I felt
そん
about
じゃ
him.
覚悟を決めたナギへ私からの最後のプレゼントよ。これからメッセージを送るからそれを見て。
それってどういう。
The call ended without warning. Hibiki was so high in the hand that I found myself smiling wryly.
これが響の言ってたメッセージ。
The text included plans for tomorrow. To be honest, I didn't envision everything she'd written, but couldn't envision everything she'd written.
これなら遠野に気持ちを伝えて今までのことも謝れるかも。駆け抜け青春スパーキング。
Turn out this way. Oh boy, this is gonna be chaotic. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you next time. Bye bye.